Today, a large amount of growth in the retail sector is coming from D2C brands. This is very interesting, given that we all know that organized retail as a segment is huge. But with that 8-10% growth that we are seeing in organized retail today versus a gigantic 25-30% growth that D2C are powering today, it is going to be the next big frontier for retail to adopt. D2C brands are entering into physical retail, and likewise the vice versa. There are these physical retail shops, whether it is Mamaearth or Sugar Cosmetics or Nykaa, which are D2C and opening physical shops, or it is the Arvind Groups or the Bata or Reliance, which are buying D2C systems. What I thought is, I'm going to talk about what will power D2C ecosystem in terms of 6 different leverage points. Now, before I do that, I'm going to briefly touch upon what has brought this growth today. Because what has brought this growth today is what is going to then dovetail into and is going to power these 6 different leverage points that I intend to talk. What are these 5 points? We all know there are 100 million plus internet shoppers today, likely to be 2.5x over the next 5 years. Massive, massive momentum. But all the online selling is not necessarily D2C. A lot of it that is happening on marketplaces, there the personalization, the customization that the customers, consumers require doesn't really happen. So consumer needs are evolving. Consumers want to be socially and emotionally attached with the brands. There is a segment of consumers who don't necessarily want mass products. There are these customized, personalized products, eco-friendly products, sustainability-driven products. So the needs have evolved. Physical shopping, a huge one, anytime, anywhere, look in the store, but get it from home. Look at the store, discover it at home, and then try it at a store. The other way is growing. A lot of new ecosystem enablers have come in. Today, you don't necessarily need to make investment in logistics. For example, a player like Shiprocket takes care of you end to end, or payment systems, or you don't necessarily need. There are close to 100 plus integrations possible if you have to launch a D2C brand today. And all of it, whether the warehouse management system, IMS, OMS, all of it has really evolved to power the D2C system. Convenience and the need for convenience is growing. Today you want it not just at your fingertips and your doorstep, but you want it 24/7. And all of this, 5 factors that I just spoke of, are driving this growth in D2C. So these are the 6 points in terms of growth. D2Cs are solving this unique problem and genuine customer needs. They are making in India for India. They enable you to own end-to-end consumer experience. They enable you to do custom segment targeting, remarketing. There are a whole host of technology enablers which have come in. And all of this, therefore, allows you to expand your product mix and get tuned to the consumer needs as you go along. So with all this, the massive opportunity that I mentioned in the beginning has got created. In 2 to 3 years' time, it's going to be a $100 billion market just for D2Cs per se. Now, there is some other section where I talk about overall organized retail market. And in 2 to 3 years' time, it's expected to be $250 billion worth. Out of which, this data, if you look at it, 40 to 42% of the market is going to be driven by D2Cs. That's massive. Add to this the amount of funding that's been coming in the segment. Literally 2 startups got funded every week last year. Unicorns, First Cry, Nykaa, Boat, Mamaearth, Lenskart, MyGlam, so many of them have come up. There are close to 30 brands which have more than 100 crore revenue. And interestingly, all the corporates there is a corporate VCs which have come up. Reliance has its own fund. Tata's are acquiring brands for their new app. ITC has acquired D2C brands. Marico is making investments. What I'm making is this is where we've reached. And this is a massive opportunity. I will now talk about the 6 levers or the leverage points that will drive this growth in our view. Here are the 6. First and foremost, customer first orientation. Second, the growth is going to continue to come by leveraging data and deeper and smarter technology. Omnichannel is the way to go, but supply chain will drive a big amount of growth and big amount of conversion through its efficiencies and the experience that it's going to drive. And lastly, the Make in India for India is going to change towards Make India for the world, because the cross-border is going to grow. And therefore, as the boundaries come down and one is able to ship across, there are marketplaces which allow Indian D2C brands or Indian retail brands to list abroad in marketplaces. Now, the vice versa, when it starts happening, is going to be massive. And therefore, these 6, and I'm going to just very quickly now dovetail into these 6. The first and foremost is the consumer piece, and that by itself is massive, right? Because if you think of overall 100% of spend or a cost structure for any particular entity, close to 30-40% of it goes into product and 10-20% goes to marketing. So that is, in our view, where the brand should be focusing. That's your 50% of cost and 100% of focus, because you actually want to drive your right product mix, and the right customer experience. Beyond this, there are a whole host of things that we've done, whether it's a customer service, whether there are technological tools required, capital, shipping, payments, checkout. There is so much to be done for a particular transaction to happen. And all of this, an ecosystem player like Shiprocket, or there are others, they can make happen just by being a single point of contact. Now think of it, the experience on a D2C brand portal is quite native. It's in a way that D2C's brands can control the experience there. What about all the rest? The moment you come to post-checkout experiences, you tend to go external, and there are so many other players that come into play. And that's where the big differentiation is going to be. Think of marketplaces. The way the marketplaces are designed, they made billions of dollars of investment in post-checkout experience, whether it's checkout, whether it's payments, whether it's detecting online fraud, customer service, warehouse management system, inventory management system, shipping, warehousing, loyalty. All of it comes together. All of this comes together for a successful shopping experience to happen. Now, this is something that the brands don't necessarily need to invest on. This is something that an ecosystem player can make happen either by itself or by partnering and enabling the entire experience. So out of those 6 drivers that I was speaking of, 1, consumer is what we believe the brand should worry about. And I'm going to talk about the number 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these later ones as the ones that the ecosystem should be driving. Data has driven this growth. It will continue to be continue to be really, really big. Data can be leveraged to reduce CAC, customer acquisition cost. To give you an example, at Shiprocket, we have got a product called Sense. Now, this can score a high-risk, non-deliverable order and give that input to the seller so that you can really reduce the cost in investing into shipments that are not really necessarily going to get delivered. Now, that product itself has seen a huge adoption, and it's a big power. Similarly, let me talk about technology and how beautifully it can be used. Leveraging technology can really save a lot of cost, a lot of labor, a lot of time. We have a WhatsApp bot called Engage. What it does is it automatically starts engaging with the ultimate seller and is able to figure where the addresses are not correct, allows the buyer to enter the right address, and puts it back for the purpose of shipping. Now, it's a huge returns reduction tool, not just an engagement tool. So, data and technology, two big levers. Omnichannel is the way to go. That's the other lever that I was speaking of. They're not just selling from store to online, but D2C powering your online website sales from the store, and having a single view of inventory is the way to go. And that's how it's going to be. And there are marketplaces which are doing it for kiranas, and there is so much news. Same ways, every organized retailer needs to be driving that. Last two, the need for seamless supply chain can't just be overemphasized. Time has come, customer has got used to same-day delivery, next-day delivery. At Shiprocket, we've started investing, and we found huge traction when we just put warehouses close by, and realized that can drive faster the fulfillment experience, which can drive faster deliveries, can improve conversions for the sellers. So it's the whole aspect of having a great supply chain is huge. And lastly, I spoke about how one can really leverage cross-border and really think of average unit value on anything that you are selling outside is typically 2.5 times, 3 times of what it is in India. It can be a profitability accretive as well as volume accretive. So it's a huge opportunity again. So this is what I had in terms of the 6 leverage points to drive D2C in India. And let me just say, I spoke about this as a 100 billion opportunity in 3 years' time, but retail per se, we all know, is 1.5 trillion. So this is just a small part of it. We at Shiprocket are very proud to be a small speck of driving this, enabling this, facilitating the growth of this new big trend that has happened, and looking forward to very exciting journey ahead.